This is What's Wild in New Hampshire by wildlife biologist Eric Wolf. Well, as you've been following, I've been documenting what the drought of 2022 is doing to our rivers, the Suncook River in particular, and the tributaries to the Suncook River, and somewhat to the Merrimack. But you know, for the last 2 or 3 months, I've been following also the dramatic drought in the west, particularly the drawdown of Lake Mead, Lake Powell, and what is happening in the southwest of the country. Well, I decided this evening, this is August the 15th, so we're halfway through August. Another hot day, no rain in sight. Have had very little rain lately here in New Hampshire. A week from later this week, there's expected to be some showers. So where am I this evening? And my evening outing tonight is to Long Pond in Concord. Long Pond is the water source for the city of Concord. And I'll walk across the road to Long Pond. Long Pond, nice looking pond, but for many decades, as far as I can recall, Long Pond has been closed to human trespassing. It's the water body, so we don't want any swimming here, any fishing, no absolute fishing. Which will lead me to my next story. So in the summer of 1977, while I was a fisheries bio aide at New Hampshire Fish and Game, my college friend Bill Ingham, he and I were in the class of 72, wildlife management. Well, he had been working for the Fish and Game Department as a fisheries biologist, and he was interested to see if he could restore golden trout to New Hampshire. I think, if this is all from memory, this August 15th evening of 2022. So he was looking for a place to put some golden trout, which had disappeared from Lake Sunapee several decades before. So looking for a place he could get some golden trout. I think at the time he had some lined up maybe in Maine, or this wasn't an uncommon practice for fishing game, and probably still is today, to use some unfishable waters to raise fish to put elsewhere. So here, Bill and I went out that afternoon to check out Long Pond, probably the depth and whatever. But we launched a boat right here where you can't legally go in unless you, I guess, work for fishing game. So we launched a boat, went out here, and we're maybe checking water conditions or chemistry or depth. And the most interesting thing that still rattles in my head from that day is out in here, the water was milky white. It was bizarre looking milky white. And what it was freshwater jellyfish by the tens of thousands, and I don't know, maybe millions. The water was a huge cloud of $half size jellyfish. Well, we had a bucket in the boat, and I scooped up some number, maybe a half dozen, and decided I'd take them home and put them in my aquarium at home. I lived in Allenstown, and which I did. So I had some freshwater jellyfish. The only time I've ever seen them. They were flat like a jellyfish, not very big, and within hours they transformed into hydra. Hydra looked like palm trees that attached to things. I remember I had some crayfish in there, or one or two, and some of the hydra had attached to the crayfish. So I watched the transformation of jellyfish from jellyfish to hydra. But what I really came here to talk about is what's happening in the southwest. So in the southwest, Lake Mead is down to a critical level already, and despite the fact that this drought began happening in 2020, so 22 years ago, this is, they've learned that it's a long-term thing. There really hasn't been any efforts to significantly reduce the use of water in the southwest. California, Nevada, parts of Arizona, even parts of northern Mexico. So Lake Mead continues to plummet in depth down to what, 940, something like that, above sea level. And it continues to drop a foot or two a month, I think, although they had some rain last week and it stopped the decline for a few days. 40 million people count on the Colorado River and Lake Mead, Lake Powell, Lake Mead water system for their water. I've been watching YouTubes about this for months now, watching what's going on, and the thing is, there was a university study that shows that at the current rate that the water is being depleted, maybe in 2 or 3 or more, no more than 4 years, the water may be gone. So 40 million people will be without water. You can turn on your faucet, nothing will come out. So there's a potential in the near future for the Southwest to be uninhabitable by humans, by 40 million humans. Where are they going to go? How many of those are going to come to here to use our water systems? And this one has been drawn down a little bit here. I think I read an article in the paper that Concord feels they're in pretty good shape. And Dave Brooks from the Concord Mart had an awesome article a couple of weeks ago about how this extended drought and lack of snow, 25 fewer inches than average of snow in Concord. We've had less than half the rain this year that we normally get. Since I came back mid-March from Florida, we've had 2 1/2 inch rainfalls and 2 1-inch rainfalls since mid-March that I have recorded. So where are these 40 million people going to go in 3 or 4 years? How many millions will be coming here to the Northeast, to New England, or to this area? What impact will 40 million people have on the rest of the country, on our resources? We already know that during the pandemic, the trails at the town forest and trails through the White Mountain National Forest were really overused. Too many people in the woods and doing disgusting things. So what will happen to our natural resources when 40 million people make California, Nevada, Arizona uninhabitable by humans? Where are they going to go? How many are going to come here? What will be the impact on our water, our natural resources, our fish and wildlife? They're going to come someplace. There's no water out there. We all need water. So just my evening. I mean, typically I focus just on fish and wildlife. And these 40 million people, if they move, they're going to have a big, big influence on fish and wildlife wherever they go. How many will come here? What will be the impact on our fish and wildlife? Just ruminating tonight. A nice evening to be out and take a look. I came up here to look at Long Pond, Concord. And I remember the cloud of jellyfish so many decades ago. Interesting place, yes. Your water here in Concord has jellyfish in it. The only time I've ever seen it. They're a really cool thing. This is wildlife biologist Eric Orr for What's Wild in New Hampshire. Jellyfish are wild here.